What if the fabric of your destiny was woven with secrets from your past? Enter a world steeped in magic and mystery, where every thread tells a story of courage and friendship. Meet Lysandra, a talented seamstress who dreams of weaving more than just beautiful fabrics. When dark forces threaten her vibrant village, she must unearth the ancestral truths hidden within her craft. With the stakes higher than ever, if she fails, her home could fall into darkness. But if she succeeds, she may discover her true strength and the bonds that can change everything. Join us on this enchanting journey filled with sorcery, betrayal, and adventure. This is Chapter 1 of the Silken Threads of Time. Let the journey begin.
Chapter 1. A Stitch in Time. Lysandra sits in her cluttered workshop, surrounded by spools of vibrant thread, fabric swatches, and half-finished garments. The morning sunlight streams through the window, casting a golden glow that dances across the rich textures of her work. She hums softly to herself, her hands moving deftly as she stitches intricate patterns into a gown, each meticulous detail a reflection of her care and craft. The warm air is filled with the faint scent of lavender from a small sachet she keeps nearby, adding a comforting aroma to her creative space. Outside, the sounds of villagers preparing for the festival reverberate through the open window. Laughter, music, and the distant clanging of metal as others work on their projects. For a moment, Lysandra allows herself to be fully absorbed in the rhythm of her sewing, losing track of time as she watches the fabric come together. She glances at the door, half expecting a visitor, but her gaze falls back to her work. It's the culmination of her efforts, and yet a subtle ache tugs at her heart. Though she enjoys creating beauty, a whisper of longing for something beyond the seams tugs at her spirit, mingling with the joy of the festival preparations outside. A sudden knock at the door interrupts her concentration. Lysandra looks up, her heart racing slightly as she sets her needle aside, wondering who could be visiting at this hour. The door swings open, and in bursts Mara, radiating energy and excitement, clutching an armful of colourful decorations. "You're going to miss the festival if you keep working," she exclaims, her voice bright and full of enthusiasm, instantly pulling Lysandra from her reverie. Lysandra can't help but smile at her friend's infectious spirit. "I plan to finish this gown before I go," she replies, glancing at the half-finished piece draped over her workbench. Mara rolls her eyes playfully. "You can always come back to it. Besides, you've worked hard enough. The festival needs you." She steps further into the workshop, tossing ribbons into the air, illuminating the space with colour and vivacity. As Mara sets to decorating, Lysandra feels the familiar tug of responsibility mixed with a desire for adventure. "You know I need to honour my craft," she murmurs, her gaze softening as she watches her friend. Mara stops, looking directly at her. "Tradition's important, but making memories is just as crucial," she insists, reaching out to touch Lysandra's shoulder. "You deserve to enjoy life beyond these walls." With a sigh, Lysandra returns her focus to the fabric, feeling the warmth of their friendship, but also an ache for a life less confined to her duties. As Mara enthusiastically decorates the workshop, Lysandra's attention perks up at the mention of the festival. "Everyone will be there! Dancing, music, food! You have to come!" Mara's voice bubbles with excitement, and she spins around, the bright skirt swirling with her movements. Lysandra leans back in her chair, contemplating her friend's words. "I know it's important," she says slowly, her voice softening. Mara stops mid-twirl, her expression earnest. "This festival is the highlight of the year, and you've missed it so many times," she reminds her. "And I'll miss it again if I don't finish this," Lysandra mutters, glancing at the gown, feeling a familiar conflict rise within her. "Look," Mara steps closer, her hands resting on the workbench. "You can't just keep stitching your life away. You need some joy too. Lysandra feels a knot in her stomach, a mixture of longing and guilt. What if I let everyone down? She whispers. The weight of expectations pressing down on her. Mara shakes her head, her tone firm. You're not just a seamstress. You're part of this village. They want to see you smile, just as much as you want to make beautiful things. For a moment, Lysandra holds her breath, torn between her obligations and the desire to join the vibrant life outside her door. Lysandra pauses, looking down at the fabric in her hands, struggling with the weight of her decisions. I just feel like I have to honor what my family built, she admits, her voice barely above a whisper. Mara watches her, empathy shining in her eyes. I get that, but they'd want you to live too. You can create beautiful things and still enjoy life outside these walls, she urges gently. But what if people are counting on me? Lysandra replies, a frown forming on her brow as she glances around her workshop filled with half-finished projects. Mara steps closer, resting a hand on her shoulder. They'll still count on you, but you have to show up for yourself first. You've put so much pressure on yourself. Taking a breath, Lysandra thinks about the festival. Laughter, celebration, the feeling of being part of something bigger than herself. Maybe I need to find a balance, she concedes. Feeling a flicker of hope ignite within her. This is your chance to be a part of that life. Just one evening of joy can bring so much more, Mara insists, her enthusiasm infectious. Lysandra locks eyes with Mara, and in this moment, she feels a shift. Perhaps stepping outside her duties for once could lead to new inspirations, new stories awaiting to be woven. As Lysandra pauses, looking down at a fabric in her hands, struggling with the weight of her decisions, Mara steps closer, resting a hand on her shoulder. They'll still count on you, but you have to show up for yourself first. You've put so much pressure on yourself. Taking a breath, Lysandra thinks about the festival. Laughter, Finally, a smile breaks across Lysandra's face. All right, I'll come. But let me finish this gown quickly first, she agrees, the weight of worry lifting as she embraces the prospect of joy. Mara claps her hands, beaming with excitement. Yes, I knew you'd come to your senses. With renewed energy, Lysandra returns to her sewing, stitching faster and more confidently than before. The fabric glides beneath her fingers, each movement filled with purpose, signaling a shift in her mindset. As she works, she glances at Mara, who bustles around the workshop, collecting ribbons and flowers for decorations. The lively atmosphere fills the space with warmth, and Lysandra finds inspiration in her friend's enthusiasm. "Just picture it," Mara says, her eyes sparkling. "The music, the dance, the laughter. You'll be part of it." Lysandra nods, picturing herself among the villagers, laughing and celebrating instead of sewing alone. A serene feeling washes over her as the fabric transforms into something beautiful, much like her anticipation for the festival. And as she finishes the last stitch, the evening light pours through the window, casting a golden glow, marrying her tasks with her hopes. "I'm ready," she thinks, a quiet excitement blossoming inside her. Lysandra steps outside, the warm evening air wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. The village is alive with sounds, children laughing, music drifting on the wind, the aroma of baked goods wafting through the streets. She glances around, taking in the colourful banners fluttering in the breeze, her heart swelling at the vibrant scene before her. Mara skips ahead, beckoning her to follow. "Come on, the festivities are just starting," she exclaims, her joy infectious as she pulls Lysandra further into the crowd. Lysandra feels a mix of excitement and trepidation as she enters the heart of the celebration, her earlier worries fading with each step. This moment, filled with light and laughter, marks a turning point as she embraces not only the festival, but the possibility of connection and joy that life has to offer beyond her craft. With a smile on her face, she takes a deep breath, allowing herself to fully participate in the warmth and spirit of the festival, ready to weave new memories into the tapestry of her life. Chapter 2: Threads of Connection. Lysandra stands in the thick of the festival, laughter and music swirling around her, filling her with an exhilarating sense of belonging. Brightly coloured lanterns sway above, casting a warm glow on the faces of the villagers as they dance and celebrate, some playing games, others chatting animatedly. Feeling the rhythm of the festivities, she loses herself in the moment, a breathtaking shift from the focused solitude of her workshop. She watches as her friends engage in joyous revelry, caught in a flurry of excitement. Children dart past her, their giggles infectious, while a group gathers to sing a cheerful song. Lysandra's heart swells, filled with a sense of community she had longed for. Her earlier doubts and the weight of expectations seem to melt away like the candles flickering at the edges of the square. Taking a step forward, she allows herself to be swept up in the energy of the festival, a smile breaking across her face as she realizes how far she has come. Today, she is not just a seamstress. She is a part of something bigger. Mara rushes up to Lysandra, her arms overflowing with colourful wreaths of flowers. "You have to try these," she insists, a grin lighting up her face as she fastens a wreath onto Lysandra's head. The flowers smell sweet and fresh, a burst of nature that contrasts with the lingering scents of the workshop. Lysandra laughs, feeling a sense of lightness wash over her. "You know I can't wear this while I'm working," she protests playfully. But the joy in her voice betrays her delight. "Why not? It's the festival. Embrace it." Mara twirls around, her own wreath bouncing with her movements, as other villagers join in, laughing and dancing to the lively music. Caught up in the moment, Lysandra feels a pull to abandon her usual reservations. "All right, fine, just for today," she concedes, letting out a delighted laugh as she spins, feeling the weight of her duties lift for just a moment. This playful moment marks a shift in her perspective, leading her to accept that joy can coexist with responsibility, deepening her connection with Mara and the village. As the two friends join the festivities, the energy of the festival swirls around them, vibrant and infectious. Lysandra notices a small group gathered near a makeshift stage, where villagers take turns sharing stories and songs from the past. The warmth of their laughter and camaraderie invites her to join, filling her with an exuberance she hadn't felt in a long time. "Let's go over there," she says, tugging on Mara's arm. Mara beams, eyes sparkling with excitement. "I love these stories. They always remind us of who we are," she replies. And together they weave through the crowd toward the storytelling circle. As they reach the group, Lysandra feels a buzz of familiarity. Elders share tales of bravery, love, and loss, each story a thread woven into the rich tapestry of the village's history. When it's her turn to speak, an elder gestures warmly toward her, inviting her to share her own story. For a moment, Lysandra hesitates, a spark of self-doubt flickering inside her. "Come on, you have something to share," Mara encourages, her voice steadying Lysandra's nerves. Taking a deep breath, Lysandra steps forward, and the crowd hushes, waiting for her words. She realizes that embracing her voice among others is not only a connection to her past, but also an affirmation of her presence in this vibrant community. Lysandra stands before the crowd, a mixture of excitement and anxiety swirling in her stomach. The villagers watch her, anticipation in their eyes, and she can feel their faith in her pushing her forward. Gathering her thoughts, she takes a deep breath and begins to speak. "I wanted to share a story about growth and perseverance," she states, her voice steadying with each word. As she recounts her journey of crafting the gown for the festival and the lessons she learned about balance and joy, the villagers nod, some even smiling as they relate to her struggles. "I realize that creating beauty is just as essential as experiencing life with all its colors," she continues, the warmth of the crowd lifting her confidence. The moment feels transformative, not just for her, but for those listening. She can see Mara beaming proudly, and that connection fuels her determination to inspire those around her. As she finishes, applause erupts, and she feels a sudden rush of warmth in her chest. "Thank you for believing in me. Together, we can weave our stories and dreams into something beautiful," she concludes, her voice ringing with newfound conviction. A wave of cheers rises from the crowd as Lysandra steps back, her heart racing with exhilaration. Mara rushes forward, engulfing her in a warm embrace. "You were incredible! I knew you could do it!" she exclaims, her eyes shining with pride. Lysandra laughs, feeling buoyed by the support. "I couldn't have done it without everyone here," she replies, gesturing to the villagers, who are still buzzing with energy. Some villagers praise her for her courage and inspire them to share their own stories, while others express how inspired they feel by her words. The positive energy envelops her, reinforcing her sense of belonging in the community. In the midst of the celebration, the elder who had invited her to speak approaches with a smile. "You've grown immensely, Lysandra. Your words today remind us all of the strength within our hearts," she says, her voice warm and welcoming. Feeling the weight of their admiration, Lysandra smiles gratefully. "Thank you. It means so much to have this community behind me," she responds, realizing how much she values the connections she's forged. As the festival continues around them, Lysandra feels a spark of optimism igniting inside her. She understands that she is not just a seamstress, but a part of a larger tapestry, one that holds the potential for greater adventures and deeper bonds within her village. As the festival reaches its peak, the energy of the villagers pulses vibrantly around her, invigorating Lysandra. With her heart full, she glances around, watching friends and neighbours engage in laughter and dance. A small group gathers near a fire, sharing stories of the past, while others pair off, exchanging warm smiles and playful banter. Lysandra feels a surge of appreciation for the connections that have formed. Realizing that each face in the crowd represents shared history, joy, and resilience. Inspired, she turns to the villagers and calls out, "Let's not wait until next year for more stories and laughter. Let's celebrate our lives together more often." The villagers cheer in agreement, their voices rising in a chorus of affirmation. In that moment, Lysandra feels a profound sense of unity within her community, recognizing that this bond, woven through shared experiences and celebrations, is as vital as the art she creates. As the music plays on, Lysandra and Mara join in the dance, stepping into the rhythm of the moment, embodying the spirit of the festival and the tapestry of life that intertwines them all. Chapter 3. Hidden Threads. Lysandra is sifting through a box of fabric scraps in her workshop, searching for materials for her next project. As she digs deeper, her fingers brush against something unusual hidden among the remnants. A small, intricately woven piece of fabric that seems to shimmer faintly in the light. It's unlike anything she has seen before, the patterns intricate and almost ethereal, stirring a vague sense of recognition within her. Curiosity peaks as she carefully pulls it out. Holding it up to the light, trying to decipher its origin. A chill runs down her spine, and she finds herself momentarily lost in its beauty, mesmerized by the way the threads catch the light and twist in unexpected ways. "This wasn't mine," she murmurs to herself, puzzled, a sense of lingering unease settling in as she contemplates where it might have come from, hinting at secrets woven into the fabric of her life. Lysandra shakes her head, trying to dismiss the strange feelings that the fabric evokes. She sets it aside, but soon finds herself glancing back at it, unable to shake the curiosity swirling in her mind. "What's so special about you?" she muses, contemplating its intricate design as she shrugs off a sensation of unease. Determined to clear her head, she redirects her focus to finishing her current project. But the vibrant piece keeps pulling her attention back, as if it holds a hidden story waiting to be revealed. Mara enters the workshop without knocking, breaking the spell. "What have you got there?" she asks, noticing Lysandra's distracted gaze. Lysandra picks up the fabric again, staring at it for a moment before replying, "I found this hidden among the scraps. I don't know where it came from." Mara leans in closer, studying the fabric with intrigue. "It looks magical," she states with a playful smile, unaware of the deeper implications that flit through Lysandra's mind. As they exchange thoughts about its beauty, Lysandra can't shake the feeling that there's more to the fabric than meets the eye, its presence lingering like a whisper of a forgotten past. As Mara admires the fabric, she lightly teases, "You should wear that instead of the old rags." Lysandra chuckles but feels a pang of discomfort. The banter drifts away as a heavy silence envelops the room. "What if it's something important?" Lysandra muses, her brow furrowing as she recalls the stories of past elders, tales of enchanted objects that changed destinies. Mara raises an eyebrow, sensing her friend's shift in mood. "What do you mean?" "It was hidden, Mara. What if it belongs to someone else? What if it's powerful?" Lysandra's voice tinges with uncertainty, reflecting her internal struggle between curiosity and propriety. Mara places a reassuring hand on Lysandra's shoulder. "You worry too much. If you think it could be important, then investigate it. You're always thinking of others, but this is your chance to explore something for yourself, Lysandra takes a breath, considering her friend's encouragement. The exchange between them ignites a spark of determination, pushing her to confront her own fears about uncovering hidden truths. Lysandra takes a deep breath, her gaze fixed on the shimmering fabric. "You're right," she finally admits, a flicker of resolve igniting within her. "Maybe I should find out more about it. There could be stories tied to this piece." With newfound determination, she carefully folds the fabric and tucks it into her satchel, a tangible reminder of the mystery that beckons her. Mara smiles, her earlier teasing replaced by genuine support. That's the spirit. Sometimes the best adventures come from unexpected places. Lysandra nods, feeling a stirring sense of excitement and apprehension, the anticipation of discovery fueling her courage. "I'll talk to Elder Vela. She knows everything about the old tales," she declares, remembering the elder's wisdom and knowledge as a source of guidance. As they head toward the village, Lysandra can already feel the thread of curiosity weaving through her mind, ready to connect the past with her present journey. With that, ready to connect the past with her present journey. Lysandra makes her way to Elder Vela's home, her heart racing with anticipation and curiosity. The elder's cottage stands at the edge of the village, surrounded by a lush garden filled with vibrant herbs and flowers. The air is fragrant, a calming contrast to the whirlwind of thoughts swirling in Lysandra's mind. As she approaches the door, she knocks gently, the sound echoing softly in the stillness. "Come in, my dear," Vela's voice calls out from within, warm and inviting. Lysandra steps inside, greeted by the familiar sight of shelves filled with scrolls and jars of dried herbs. The walls adorned with intricate tapestries depicting legendary tales. "Elder Vela, I found something that I believe is important," Lysandra states, her voice steady despite the flutter of nerves in her stomach. She pulls the woven fabric from her satchel and presents it to the elder, watching her expression closely. Vela takes the fabric in her hands, her eyes narrowing as she examines the intricate patterns. "Ah, this is no ordinary piece, child. It holds stories of the past, of magic and transformation," she says, her tone laced with intrigue. Lysandra feels a thrill run through her, realizing that the connections to history might be more profound than she anticipated. "What do you mean?" Lysandra asks, curiosity overwhelming her. Vela gently unfurls the fabric, letting it hang in the air between them. "This piece has been woven with intention. It holds the memories of battles fought and the connections forged through hardship. It's a tapestry of your lineage," she explains, her fingers tracing the intricate designs. Lysandra leans closer, captivated by the detail embedded in the fabric. "So it's more than just a piece of cloth," she whispers, her mind racing with possibilities. "Indeed," Vela replies, nodding gravely. "This can guide you on your journey, but it also has a tendency to reveal truths that may be difficult to face. Are you prepared for that?" The elder's words hang heavy in the air, an unspoken challenge. Lysandra takes a breath, steeling herself. "I want to understand my family's legacy. I need to know who I truly am," she asserts, determination flooding her veins. Vela studies her for a moment, a hint of approval in her gaze. "Very well, but remember, knowledge often comes with a cost. Embrace both the light and the shadows as you uncover your truth." The weight of the elder's wisdom settles upon Lysandra, grounding her resolve. She knows the journey ahead will demand more from her than she ever thought possible.